Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Alex Hernandez here with my co-host Salvador Zambrano. Sal?
Hey guys, what's going on? We're excited. We got big news, big podcast today, big
Yeah.
episode.
First ever episode, first ever guest for the Culture Room podcast. And we got my good friend here, Josh Kerr. Josh, thanks for joining us, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to chat again. I think we haven't connected in a while, and I'm excited to kind of see what this podcast is about and just kind of, shoot the shit, really.
Yeah, no, exactly, bro. We haven't talked in a while, but I appreciate that I was able to hit you up and then you were able to, be our first guest. And I mean, I think you're setting the bar high for us. But, I appreciate you coming on and, it's been a while, but let's use this time to just reconnect, bro.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I like your shirt as well, man.
Thank you. I wore it for this occasion, bro. You remember, right?
Yeah.
I got the other one too, but no, I appreciate it. Yeah. Brooks running, We'll get into that. But cool, Josh. Well, thanks for joining us, man. Sal here is my co-host. He's also my roommate. We're in the same vicinity right now to record. So anything that you say, I mean, he's here and, we'll just be bouncing off questions for you. Just talk and shoot the shit, like you said. But cool, man. So let's talk real quick. Just your upbringing, I know you're not from the United States. You're here, but, tell us a little bit about where you were born, how you got to United States, and, just how you even got to UNM, because, I mean, that's where we met. So talk to us.
Yeah. So, I was born and raised in Scotland. I was there for the first 17 years of my life. I was, went to high school over there, and then, I kind of grew up doing a lot of sports, and then from there, I just kind of made that decision to kind of stick with track, and it was a cool decision for me, and I was able to have some success at an early age, which allowed me to kind of look into scholarships and things like that over in the US, because obviously I wouldn't be able to afford college out here otherwise, and a lot of my high school friends wanted to go to Scottish university. So in Scotland, if you're Scottish, you go to a Scottish university for free. So that's like a big draw to stay there. And then, there's opportunities in England as well. So I kind of looked into both of those, and it didn't excite me as much as coming over to the US. So, I looked into lots of different schools. I got recruited at 16 years old. And, I just started sending emails out and was just like, hey, I want to come and run on your track team. I want to just come to the US. And I got an email back from the head coach here at UNM, and he, in the subject line, said, "We want you," and that's it. It's the only offer I got, and I just emailed him back saying, "Give me a date and I'll be there." And he said, "Come, start of August." And so I turned up August 1st without a visit, without coming to the US before, and I just came to start my journey here, and I loved it ever since I kind of stepped off the plane into Albuquerque. And it's very different from the UK, but I tell you what, it's a pretty nice place, and it's kept me here for the last 6 years. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here.
Nice, man.
One thing I want to ask is like a funny thing. Do we sound stupid to people from England, like English?
Yeah, man, it's different.
Right?
It's different.
Yeah.
So, so it's weird, man. So when I'm here, obviously, I like at first when I first got here, everyone kept being like, "Hey, you're gonna have to slow down. You're gonna have to articulate a little bit more." So I've definitely morphed into more of an American accent than when I started here. But yeah, it is very different from people in the UK. But I'm used to it now.
Did you ever pick up any of the Albuquerque slang?
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, it's difficult to kind of. I can't pull it off, man. I don't feel like I can. But I try to, but I don't think I really fit in with it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So you said you just emailed a bunch of coaches. How many would you say you emailed? Just ballpark.
Oh, so many, like
Really?
40.
40?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And
It
UNM had
was
the
just
most, like they gave you the most attention back, I guess.
well, I mean, so I still have emails for because I still have my email address that I was sending these emails at, and so I look back sometimes to see how many I sent, and it was crazy amounts. But it was UNM just gave me the biggest interest. Yeah, the only other interest I had was a place Iona College. I think it's in New York, and it was like a arts college or something. I don't know. I never came here for a degree, so I was just like, I just want to run. But yeah, they legitimately, I had no offers, and they just said, "Hey, we want you here," and I was like, "All right, let's do it. Let's sign an LOI or whatever, and go from there."
Okay. Nice, nice. That's great, man. You said you played a bunch of different sports. Growing up, like when did you decide, I guess, that running track and field was it? That like that was what you were gonna dedicate your life to? And then, at one point, did you think that you could like just make a career out of it? Because you are now. So how did that work out?
Yeah. So over in the UK, or definitely in Scotland, kind of soccer and rugby are the two big sports. My dad was a professional rugby player in his time, and so I kind of grew up like that. I grew up trying to be a professional rugby player, and from there we just kind of used track for fitness. And then I started a race, and I won it. And then from there it was just like, anything that I put into this sport, I'm going to get out of it, and I don't have to rely on anyone else to kind of have my own success. And that was really a big drawing factor for me. And my dad said, it looks like you're going to have a lot of success in the sport, so let's stick at it and see where we can come out the other end with. And so I did all my sports. My brother's currently a professional rugby player in the UK.
Oh, nice.
So we kind of both, it was quite funny. So when I was like 13, 14, I was playing rugby a lot and still running. My brother was doing the same thing. And so my dad asked the question. He was like, "Hey, so what do you think you're going to do when you grow up?" Because we're both wanting to be sports stars. And I said I wanted to be a professional rugby player, and he said he wanted to be a professional runner. So it was quite funny because we did the exact opposite of what we said we were going to do. And I don't know, if you see my brother, he's like 4 times the size of me and absolutely massive. So it didn't make sense. I think my dad chuckled and was like, "All right, we'll see how that goes." But yeah, so I did that. I played some soccer growing up. You guys call it crew here, like rowing. Did a bit of that. Just anything really. I had a lot of energy, so my parents were trying to tire me out as much as possible. So
No,
yeah.
that's cool. That's awesome. And then at what point did you like, let's go a little bit into more of your college career. So you said, you got here some August 1st, and then, you
Yeah.
started training and stuff. Obviously the altitude is a big thing that you probably notice as a runner. And then, you have been pretty damn successful here at UNM and even after your collegiate career. But at what point did you kind of like think that, you can make a career out of it?
Yeah, I think the transition to UNM was it took a bit of time. Like my freshman year was definitely not one of my more successful years of my life, but it took some time. But I think this is a really good spot for any athlete, especially if it's a cardio based athlete. UFC fighters all come up here to train. A lot of track and cross country guys come up here to train, skiers, whatever. But yeah, as soon as you can make that transition and be able to kind of be comfortable with the altitude, it's definitely positive for your career. And I from a young age I knew that I was going to be a professional sports star, and I just didn't know what that sport was. So when I started taking track a bit more seriously, I had some people around me who were professionals, and I was like, okay, these are the steps I need to take. I need to go to the US, I need to win some NCAA titles, and then from there I can attract the shoe brand to sponsor me. So that was kind of my big goal coming in, and I was lucky enough to be able to do that in 3 years.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's some big accomplishments, man.
Yeah. I like how you said win some NCAA championships, because that's what you went and did.
Sound like a bomb, man.
Yeah, you sound like I was gonna pick a few titles up. You went and did it, and then it's in the veins, the professional sports star in somewhere. You said your dad and then your brother, so it's just a matter of choosing where you wanted to go. But no, that's cool, man. Awesome. So let's dive in now to the college career part. I have here on my here in my notes, you're a 3-time NCAA champion, and all 3 were in the mile run.
So indoors, I won 2 indoors in the mile, and then outdoors the 1500. So it's the equivalent of the mile outdoors. We run the 3 3/4 laps instead of just over 4 laps.
Nice.
You Americans love the mile, dude. I don't know why. You're the only country that love it.
Yeah, I was looking up your stats for this, doing my research, and I noticed you have like your 1500 meters, like you participate heavily in that one, right? And then also the 800, and then the mile, which is just 100 meters more, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's cool, man. And so, all right, you're a 3-time NCAA champ. There's not many people on this planet, in this country, that can say that. Talk to us about that feeling, man. How was number 1? How was number 2? And how was winning number 3? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it was. I knew. So I kind of followed this guy's career. A guy, Chris O'Hare, who I kind of trained under his dad when I was in Scotland, and I kind of watched his career develop. And I think he won 1 or 2 NCAA titles, and I was like, okay, I need to win one in my sophomore year to be ahead of him. So, you know, I went into NCAA's, I think ranked 7th or 8th in the mile against a 17-time NCAA champion. And I was like, well, you know, to be able to stick to my plan to go professional, I'm going to have to win this one. So I'm going to have to somehow convince myself that I'm good enough to win this race. So I was able to be stupid enough to convince myself to go and win my first NCAA title. And, you know, it's just with our sport, it's kind of belief in yourself is massively important. And, you know, it's something that I have in kind of copious amounts, I would say. So, you know, it's about being cocky within your own mind. And I was able to do that. And, you know, it was definitely a surprise when I finished, you know, across the finish line. But from then on, it was just like a switch kind of went off my body. It was like, okay, you have 1-1. I now can't lose. Like, but, you know, I went on a bit of a streak from there, and it was like, you know, I'm trying to attract as much attention as possible from these shoe brands. So it's time to not lose. So it's an interesting experience that you kind of, you watch it and you're like, this is really difficult. It's a very high level of the sport, but you know, once you're there, you kind of just, you're relaxed and you go out and do your job. Because you know, I've been doing this since I was, you know, 8 years old running. So it was just more of like, go out and have fun and do what you love doing. And I was able to come out with some good results in college for sure.
Nice, man. That's awesome. That's great. I have here on my notes, and I remember you told me a story because I asked you once when we met in class. So just you know, forewarning for everybody, Josh and I actually met in class. Do you remember the story, how it happened? Because we had multiple classes together.
We ended up having multiple classes together. Yeah, because I remember we became friends, but I don't know if I'm 100% certain what you're gonna say.
It was okay. Well, let's see how we met first. So it was an ethics class. I remember we were partners there, and then we had statistics too after that, and then we had those two. But I remember one time when I met you, I think we sat next to each other, and then after class, we kind of just walked to the bus stop, and you were waiting for someone to pick you up, and my roommate shows up. Not him, not Salvador, another roommate I had. But he went up to me and he said hi to you, and then he said hi to me, and I was like, oh, you know him? He was just in my class sitting right next to me. He's like, yeah, dude, that's Josh Kerr. And then I was like, okay, that name sounds familiar, and he did look familiar. So then I put 2 and 2 together, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. But no, yeah, going back to the story about your rings, because you know, being a 3-time NCAA champ, I wanted to ask you if you knew also, you know, you get the choice of, you know, getting a ring, obviously. You don't have your rings though. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So it's interesting. So we're in an individual sport, and obviously, you know, getting a ring, I didn't know it was an option.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, Josh, do you want a ring? And I was like, yeah, I heard that's kind of the thing to do. And they were like, you don't need to get a ring. I was like, what do you mean? They were like, well, you have $400. And I was like, oh. So he was like, you can get whatever you want. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm in college. You're about to give me $400. I ain't spending it on a ring. So I bought an Xbox. So I was like, I bought an Xbox and a controller for the first one. And then for the second one, I bought like some Beats headphones and like a phone or something. I don't know. I bought like, and then I don't know what I got for the third one. I think I got like a couch or something. I got something crazy. Like, and so it was like, looking back, I was like, yeah, I should have probably got the rings, but at the same time, I have the trophies, and my girlfriend actually, I can show you the camera here, has like framed my singlets.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of cool too. So
yeah.
I spent like $1,200 altogether, and I didn't get any rings. No.
Oh, that's so funny, dude. Because like, you know, here in America, I guess it's always you got to win a ring, at least in all the American sports and stuff like that. It's like the big thing. And so obviously, you coming from a different country, maybe you didn't see the glamour in it and stuff. So you're like, I'm in college, I'm getting money as an option, I'm just gonna do it. But I remember when I asked you that and you told me that story, I just laughed because I was like, oh man, that's so crazy. But I mean, nobody can take away that you've accomplished that and that you have those wins under your belt, man. So
yeah, for sure.
In the record books. But yeah,
the guy, so the finance guy that kind of gave me that option was like, for the third one I got, he was like, dude, you should get a belt, like a UFC belt. And I was like, if I'm not gonna buy rings to put on my fingers, you tell me I'm gonna get a belt? I was like, I'm gonna look like such an asshole. I was like, turn up at the race with a UFC belt on my shoulder. I was like, I'm gonna look so silly. So I was like, I'm not doing that, man.
Like that player for the Buccaneers, he won the Super Bowl, then he shows up with a championship ring on his shoulder. Oh, that's so funny though. Oh man, that's awesome. Cool, man. Let me ask you some other stuff. So let's talk a little bit now about, I mean, you forewent your senior year, you went pro. Can you talk to us about what went through your mind when you just decided, like, let me just go pro? Like, talk to us about that.
Yeah, so I came into college with a mission, and that mission was to sign a lucrative deal with a shoe brand that I respected. And for the point I was at, I was like, I ended up running the NCAA record in the last year of in my junior year. And so I was just like, I haven't really got much else to kind of prove here. I feel like I proved myself quite a lot. And I really enjoy college. I really enjoy being on the team. I liked my coach, and I liked where I was at, but it was just like, I felt like it was time to take that next step. I've always taken that next step in my career early. Like, I came to college at 17. I wanted to leave early just to kind of have a step on the field a little bit. But yeah, it was a tough decision, to be honest. And I actually could still have eligibility right now, and I'm out of college for the last 3 years.
Wow.
So because I redshirted some stuff, and then with the coronavirus stuff, I actually was like, looked into it. I was like, I could actually still be in college right now.
Really?
So yeah. So I think this would be my last semester of eligibility. I think
Okay.
that would be how it would work. But yeah, I mean, we get quite a bit of eligibility when you come in as a freshman instead of like a grad, because a lot of internationals come over as like a graduate.
Oh, okay.
And get 2 years of eligibility. But yeah, I don't know. I just, I had a deal presented to me from Brooks Running and the Brooks Beast, and I was just like, this seems like the one. This is feels right to me, and this coach and company are pretty cool. So it was a hard decision, but I think I've never regretted that decision at all now.
No, that's awesome, man.
So you mentioned COVID. Like, how tough was that for you as an athlete having to train through that?
Yeah, well, the big thing for us was, we were meant to have the Olympics last year, and I was trending towards something pretty crazy. So, we had the World Championships in Doha in 2019. I ended up sixth in that, and then it was kind of trending towards hopefully medaling last year, and obviously the Olympics got postponed. So it was tough. It was tough to kind of get yourself out of bed every day knowing that you've not got the Olympics coming up. So it's difficult, but we're looking like we can get some races in here pretty soon and kind of look towards the Olympics in 2021. So positive now, but at the time it was a really tough time. But we were happy enough and lucky enough not to kind of lose our jobs or our support from our brand. So we got to be pretty happy with ourselves there for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. So you're aiming for 2021 in Tokyo for the Olympics. Do you have to, what's the process, qualifying process, or are you already qualified?
So I'm not qualified just yet. So the crazy thing about track is it's not like any other sport with qualification. So most sports is like, you have to be in some sort of like academy or like, with the coaches from the federation and things like that. But no, if you guys wanted to run in the Olympics, right, or go to the Olympics for any sport, if you had the talent, it's the easiest to do, because you can pick anyone off the street, and if they run the qualifying standard and come top 3 in the trials, they'll go to the Olympics, regardless if you've never ran a step before in your life. If you're able to do that, you'll go. So I've ran the qualifying standard, and I have to be top 3 at my trials in June. And so it's looking pretty positive, but nothing's set in stone until we come top 3 in that trials, and then we'll go to the Olympics from there. But yeah, it's quite funny because I told people in the UK that they're like, you don't have to be invited. I was like, no, you just run in time and you just go to the Olympic trials, and if you're good enough to be top 3, then you'll go. It's kind of crazy. So that's the best part about it. It's very inclusive. So and people can come from anywhere, and that's kind of what keeps us on our toes.
No, that's cool, man. Awesome. So let's talk about that then. If you said your qualifiers would be in June, how does training look like right now for you, actually?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been lucky enough to not deal with any injuries for the last year and a half, and so everything's looking really good. We're about to open up our year on March 6th, and we're going to do an outdoor race then. It's normally indoor season right now, but with COVID, it's been difficult to kind of get races indoors. But yeah, I just want to kind of kick off with it on the right foot and see what we can do in the 1500 and on March 6th. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking great. You know,
Good.
if we can continue where we're at, if I had the fitness right now, what we're at, then I'd be pretty happy to be in the top three for sure. I think it'd be a pretty done deal at this point.
So the event that you choose to do is the mile run.
Yeah, so like I was saying before, so the Americans love the mile, but the British love the 1500. So
Oh,
the Olympic distance is 1500. So everyone in the world runs 1500, but then indoors the US run the mile. I don't quite understand why. And I would rather probably run the mile always. Like it's a fun distance and people understand it a bit more, you know what I mean? People like I'm guessing you guys ran the mile in high school or you know, whenever you kind of
That's
know
the
your
last time
mile
I
time
did
a
it.
little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did track
What'd you
in
run?
school and
Huh?
What'd you run? What did
Oh,
you
dude,
run?
I don't want to say it. By the time you
Oh, you
run
gotta
2
say
miles,
now.
I'm barely getting one done. I don't want to say it. I want right now. If I'm lucky, I'll crack 7, maybe. If I'm lucky, fingers crossed.
No, I'm hitting like 10, 12-minute mark right now.
And then right here, I have that your personal best in the mile is 3:53. So,
Yeah.
oh man, is that currently what you're like? I mean, that's your personal best, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, so the mile, so you can do a conversion with the 1500.
okay.
And so my converted mile time is like 3:49, 3:48, something like that. But in the mile, I'm not very good at getting around those tight turns. So indoors, it's like a 200 indoor track, and
Uh-huh.
it's quite tight to get around the bends. So
Okay.
yeah, I've never been that quick at the mile, but my converted miles is like yeah, like 3:48, something like that.
So do you prefer doing outdoor instead of indoor?
Yes, yeah, I would say so. I think you've got like elements to battle as well. So wind, rain, you know, hot or cold. You know what I mean? So for me, that's kind of what I grew up with. I didn't do a lot of indoor running growing up, so
Okay.
um, yeah, I do enjoy it more. I think. Plus, you you kind of dream of the Olympics with the sport. Like it's the big thing. Obviously, it's every 4 years, but you know that's like the pinnacle of our sport, and that's an outdoor race. So that's always been for me like the one that you know that's the one. That's the kind of stuff that we dream about for sure.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's
That makes
crazy
sense.
watching how fast people can run.
Yeah.
Like sprinters, it's amazing how fast.
Sprinters are crazy,
Yeah.
but they're crazy but lazy is probably the best way to describe sprinters, man. Like they're like amazingly quick, and all they do is they sit on the physio's table, the PT table, and they just get stretched out, and they do the PT does all the work for them, and then they go out and sprint. That's pretty much all they do. And they spend time in the gym as well.
They last 10 seconds, huh? It's a big difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference between 10 seconds and 4 minutes, but
Yeah.
that's
No, that's cool, man. Okay, I have a few more questions for you. So, are you still traveling between Albuquerque, Seattle, and where are you right now? Because I remember
yeah.
sometimes during class, you'd be like, "Hey, I'm going to Seattle. Can you like fill me in on what happens?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." But where are you right now? How you're back and forth. How's that?
Yeah, so I am back and forth. We rent a place here in Albuquerque with my girlfriend, and then I rent a place over in Seattle as well. So we
Nice.
kind of just bounce between, but we're on camp right now. The whole Brooks team's on camp. So we're in Albuquerque right now.
Oh,
We're going to be here until this race in March 6th. So I think we're leaving like in a week's time or something to drive over to San Diego to kind of minimize risk with flying and stuff.
okay.
And then yeah, so we're like mostly based out of Seattle, but this year because obviously it's a big year and stuff, we're doing a lot of our training at altitude, so we're here for most of the year.
Okay.
And it works out great for me because my girlfriend lives here as well, and she's in medical school here. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I quite enjoy living over in Albuquerque, and you know
Nice.
it's where I've been for the last 5 years. So I really enjoy living here.
It's grown on you, huh?
Yeah, man, it really
Nice.
has.
What's your favorite thing to do in Albuquerque?
Oh, I mean, thing is, so like being from the UK, like having the sun here like silly good. Like I've never taken a day for granted with the sun out. But I mean, I love the food here, man. Breakfast burritos after every run. Yeah, that's what I enjoy. But I've been playing a lot of golf here as well, which has been nice.
Oh, nice. What course do you hit up?
I play South quite a lot, and then
Okay.
I played
South Campus?
Ladera yesterday, actually. Yeah,
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Are you a green chili guy or red chili?
I'm a green chili guy, but it's been
Right.
messing with my stomach, so I might have to stop.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay, let's see. Do you have any pre-competition, pre-competing rituals or superstitions?
So I did growing up a little bit. Like there was like certain things that I had to wear, and like so the big thing when you grew up is we used to wear like t-shirts under our singlets. And it's not really a big thing here because it's so hot here. But yeah, I always have to wear the same one, same socks, this and that. And then my dad kind of pulled me aside one day. He was like, there's going to be days where you're not going to have everything perfect, and you got to have to like kind of get ready for that. So the big thing for growing up was I was always doing different stuff, so that I would stop all these superstitions. Like I'd turn up, an hour before. One time I'd turn up 3 hours before for a race, things like that, just to kind of put myself in a stressful environment as much as possible, so I can kind of be comfortable with all the variables that can come with racing. Like right now we race all around the world, so when I'm in Doha, I can't get Panera for lunch. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would I try and do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's difficult doing it, but yeah, I mean, there's little things that I like to do, and for me, it's making sure I listen to some music beforehand. A little bit of EDM beforehand, and get myself pumped up and put myself in a great mindset. But yeah, most things change all the time. So yeah.
No,
So
that's good.
what kind of music do you listen to? Like, what's your favorite artist?
Oh, so just saying that'll pump me up. You know what I mean? So I listen to a bit of David Guetta sometimes as well, some old school stuff. Like that puts me back in my old days where I was like, 14, 15, trying to get ready for a race. So I do it sometimes just to kind of the nostalgia of it, where I'm like, yeah, this is, look how far you've got so far. You're out here to enjoy yourself. You're out here to, continue the dream that you had since you were a young boy. So I sometimes put some nostalgia songs on just to kind of put myself back in those days.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Cool. Do you have any advice for runners or athletes in general?
So the younger runners, I would say, try and have fun with it as much as possible for as long as you can. That was a big thing for me, is like I enjoyed going to training. I enjoyed the people I was running with. My parents were with me. I was very lucky to have that support. And then the older you get, like fantastic opportunities come up with this sport. It's a very black and white sport. You run certain times, you're going to get certain scholarships. That's just the way it goes. And so you don't need to have all these good, crazy film of like your skills and things like that with other sports like tennis or soccer or football or whatever. But it's a great sport to be a part of a team, but also have your individual goals. And I would say that coming to an NCAA, the collegiate system is some of the best for developing younger athletes and giving everyone an opportunity from D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA, like any of that. There's always opportunities. So if you want to come to college but you can't quite afford it, like I think track's a really good option. And you can make a lot of friends, and it's a natural antidepressant. You can go out and solve your problems out on a run any day. So go out and work hard, and it's a great sport for your overall health, I would say. So even if you're going out for a mile and running 10 minutes, like it's better than sitting inside and doing nothing.
Leave you alone.
I had to throw it a little bit. Come on.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
You guys are gonna have to run a mile now, and you're gonna have to tell me how it goes.
Dude, I'll let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know when you're in the bed when we hit the gym. One more question before I hit my other topics, just real quick. I remember when we were in class, you were saying you're gonna buy a Tesla. Did you ever do it?
Yeah, I've had it for the last year and a half. Yeah.
Nice. Which model do you have?
I got the Model 3 Performance.
Nice.
Nice. It's awesome, man. I was kind of a treat to myself for doing so well at World Champs, and I just told myself it was kind of silly though, because I'd made a promise to myself. I was like, okay, so if you win a medal at Worlds, you can buy yourself a nice car. So I was like, I had this goal, and then I was like, that's gonna take too long. It's October, and it was like March or April. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'll make another goal. I was like, all right, if I win British Champs, then I'll buy one. And I got second, and I was like, that's good enough. So I was like, I'm just gonna get it. Like,
that's cool, man. You deserve it. You deserve it, bro.
Is it a nice car? Is it worth it?
Is it worth? Yeah.
Mate, it's so worth it, man. Like, it's as much as the price can build up. Like, they have some reasonably cheap models, and for a car that can go 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, like it's one of the cheapest cars you'll find. And also, like, it's luxurious, man, for what it is. And yeah, I mean, I love driving. It's a toy, man. It's just like, it was like a race car. Yeah. It's fantastic fun. And the models are getting better as well, and they're able to find kind of cheaper uses and stuff like that. So it's hopefully going to be like, I can change the battery out of it, and I should have this car for the next 8 years for sure. So it seemed like a good investment at the time. That's what I try to convince myself. But yeah, we'll stick with that. It's a good investment, but it's a lot of
That's awesome, man.
fun.
Are you still getting your MBA?
Yeah, I'm taking 2 classes right now. So
Okay.
because I'm from the UK, I'm on a visa. So I've changed from my student visa that I came over on to a professional athlete visa. It's a P1 visa. And so I'm not allowed to do full-time education on it. I don't know why.
What?
So
That's great.
the US government thought that people who are on professional athlete visas would take one of those to come and get educated over here, and we can't do that. That's bad. So I'm taking part-time education. So I'm only taking like 1 to 2 classes a semester because it's illegal for me to do anything else. So I'm taking 2 this semester and I have 1 more from there.
Oh, okay. Well, the end is near for you on that. No, that's
Yeah, man.
that's
Did you
cool,
get
man.
yours? Have you finished?
I'll finish in May.
Oh,
And I have 2
wow.
classes right now too. So yeah, I took a
Sweet.
longer route, but I mean, I'll finish.
We're here now. We're here now.
I like being in school, but I mean, COVID definitely has changed that experience. So I'm like, I should probably wrap it up and finish my degree.
Yeah, man. It's
But
crazy. Like I feel like the professors are getting hella lazy, bro.
yeah. I mean, I could definitely say, I've had mixed experiences. This semester's not that bad actually for me, and I'm
Yeah.
only taking 2 classes. They're making stronger effort than I was thinking they would. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm
Yeah.
trying. I'm taking the same professor we took for stats for a
Oh,
different
really?
class. Oh yeah.
Oh,
But
nice.
she's good though. It's actually really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
was a good
it's a lot
professor.
better than stats, but yeah.
That's hard, man. That's probably one of the hardest classes I've had in college.
Seriously.
Yeah,
It
That
me
was
and Josh
tough.
would have to help each other.
Oh,
Remember, we'd be
Mate.
Snapchatting. Hey, what'd you get for this?
Yeah.
Good
I
one.
had no idea, bro. It
Yeah,
was so hard.
it
It was one
was.
of the
Bro.
first, I think, like it's one of the first ones as well, like in your MBA. Like I
Yeah,
took it like
exactly.
my first semester. I was like, this is
Mhm.
crazy.
And I'm not even. I'm going for nursing, and I had to take stats. It was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was ridiculously hard.
What? How does that make sense? Like you should have been like, nah, I don't need this. Yeah, I'm good.
Crazy,
No.
crazy. We'll move on to these, Sal.
So,
Okay, go ahead.
coffee or tea, man? I know
Wait,
a
wait.
lot of people from England like to drink tea.
Well, let me preface this real quick. This is a segment we're gonna call. It's called This or That. We basically just give you 2 options. We have 5 little questions. You actually answered one of them already. It was a green or red chili.
Yeah.
You answered it
Okay.
already with green, but we have 4 more this or that. And so go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, so coffee or tea, man? I know a lot of people from over there like to drink their tea.
Yeah, man. So I don't drink a lot of tea over here, but like tea's my go-to for sure. So like English breakfast tea, like that's like as soon as you go to someone's house or anything like that, like this first thing is like put the kettle on, like get a couple of brews out, like and that's kind of a big social thing over there. So I will say tea, yeah.
Would you prefer tea from there or the sweet tea that we have here, like from either Whataburger
I-
sweet tea?
Yeah, I only kind of found that recently, and it's bloody good, but it just seems bad for you. It's one of those things where you're drinking it, you're like, this doesn't seem great for me, you know?
Sure.
That's true. I'm actually surprised you didn't say coffee though, because my thinking is Albuquerque's becoming a big coffee place with local
is.
coffee shops. And then you're always in Seattle, and Seattle's known for coffee too. So I thought maybe he
That's
might.
true.
But
It's a big thing in our sport as well, like caffeine and stuff. So
oh, okay.
I don't know. I never drank coffee until probably 2 years ago. And then from there, like my girlfriend drinks it, most mornings. And so whenever I was making it for her, I'd be like, I'll try it, like, and see what the effects are. But I don't know. I never really kind of got into it massively until maybe like a year ago.
Okay.
And I have it now and again. But yeah, I do enjoy going out for a coffee, to be fair. And Albuquerque's definitely turned into a bit of a coffee place, isn't it?
Yeah. No.
Coffees and breweries.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Almost every corner you know.
Yeah. Those come out like every other day. There's a new brewery or something.
Seriously.
Prefer watching NFL football or basketball?
If you had to choose.
Yeah, I would say basketball. And I'm gonna fully blame the UNM football team for that.
Oh,
So I am like, so whenever
Shots
people
fired.
come over here, mate, whenever people come over here, like from the UK, they're always like, "Oh man, football's great, football's great," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go and try to watch it." And I'm sorry, but maybe it's our team, but like it's the boringest sport, bro.
it's our team.
It's so boring.
It's you and me.
I was like, I don't know what's going on,
The
but
right person.
Yeah.
we kept losing. I was like, what's this all about? Like, and the games aren't even that good. And I was like, phew.
Yeah.
But basketball, I do enjoy basketball. I kind of got into that a bit recently as well. So I've been watching that. But yeah, I would say basketball. But maybe if I had, maybe if UNM were a bit better, then I'll say football. I'll throw some shade on.
Your exposure was not the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Exposure to immediate football is the college team and not as greatest. Oh yeah, I don't blame you, man.
Do you keep up with any of the professional teams at all?
Say that one again.
Do you keep up with any professional teams at all, like NFL, NBA?
So I'm a recent Hornets fan.
Oh, Hornets. Okay. Did you know that their coach is from Albuquerque?
I did, yeah. So like that was kind of cool. I realized that afterwards, but
Uh-huh.
So I've been watching them, and that's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed watching kind of their young players as well, and yeah, I mean they happen. The games are so often though. It's very difficult to be like an avid fan. It's
Yeah.
like every second night you're like, God, I've got another game to watch. But I do enjoy it. I do sit there and enjoy it with, I have a buddy that likes it as well. So we kind of support the same team and go from there. But basketball is a great sport to watch. But I'm no good at it, man. I've played a couple times and it's tough.
Oh yeah, it's not easy.
That's true. Any other sports that you might like? You said you'd golf, but soccer, as we call it here.
Yeah. I mean, being from Scotland, like, is a big thing. And the thing is, like, it was kind of like you grew up with one or the other. It was like soccer or rugby, and I was obviously a rugby family. But I was good friends with a lot of UNM soccer players. I've met and become good friends with a couple of some of the New Mexico United players and stuff. We got the same gym and things like that. So yeah, I know, right? I saw that. And so yeah, I mean, I think it was such a shame that the UNM soccer got cut. I think it was a bit of a nightmare. Like, it was kind of bittersweet for us, is like, because it could have been our team, like track.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, as much as we were like, glad it wasn't us, it was a massive shame because they were a successful team, and that's always a shame to kind of see go. But yeah, I guess that's just life at UNM, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
So one more big question I wanted to ask you, now that you're talking about that. I know, like, with the UNM soccer players, they probably had a lot to deal with their scholarships maybe being cut or having a transfer. Do you think college athletes should be paid like a wage instead of just living off scholarships?
It's a difficult question, and it's because it's so like personal. It's like case to case situation, because you have these amazing, massive like personalities, like say a Zion Williamson, like how much money he must have brought to the university, like, versus like someone that is a walk on for like a soccer team. Like, it's just such night and day. But I do believe that the athletes should be paid what they're due, and if they're hopefully getting a percentage of the money that's brought into the university. But it's a difficult system. The NCAA are very greedy, for sure, and you can see that in loads of different ways. But yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. I don't think I know enough about the ins and outs of like what bigger sports get and bigger schools get. I know at UNM they got a fair bit of support. Obviously, you have your scholarships and things like that, and they were able to get provided like a snack. It was called a day. And a snack is defined by anything you can hold in one hand. So their snack was a Chipotle burrito. And so they would like turn up
three of them in my hand. Does that count?
I know, right? They were just like holding a bag of Chipotle. And I just remember being behind someone in a line at Chipotle. I was really bitter about it. And they like got their meal, and they're like gonna pay for it, but then they just wrote their name down on this list. And I asked the woman afterwards, I was like, can I write my name down on this list? And she was like, do you play football for UNM? I was like, nope. And she was like, no, it's just for football players. I was like, this sucks. I was like, track, obviously we get good scholarships. Like we're lucky enough to have, I think it was like 12.5 on each side or something like that, scholarship wise. But yeah, stuff like that, like little perks that like bigger sports get. I was like, oh, I'm jealous. I was like, you guys haven't won a game all year, man.
Yeah, exactly. like how you say, like,
true.
It really depends. Like, the UNM football players, we don't really get much wins there with that program. But with you winning 3 championships, you think you would have had a little more luxury.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say so, but then I look back and I'm like, did I bring any money to UNM? Probably not. We don't have any outdoor track meets here. We have indoors here sometimes. I try and bring UNM to as much of a positive light as I can, but we're not getting any ticket sales. I mean, we're not bringing donors in that much. So I don't think I was hard done by with my time at UNM. But yeah, it would have been nice to have a bit more luxury. But I had my Xbox, so I was cool with that.
And like you said, like earlier on, you you came to get a scholarship to school in the United States, and I mean, you ended up getting it, so you got what
Exactly.
you
Exactly. I
asked
didn't need to
for.
be too greedy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's great insight from you, man. What do you think, Sal? Good to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we're pretty good.
Well, awesome, Josh. Look, Josh, we want to wish you the best of luck in your career. We're gonna be rooting for you, man. We appreciate your time, and like I said, hopefully we'll see you on our TVs in Tokyo. We'll be rooting for you, like I said. And do you want to shout anything out? I know you got your own podcast, man. You want to shout out?
I was gonna say you guys are pros, man. I can't believe this is your first episode. It was very smooth. I mean, we had some pretty bad episodes, bro.
Really?
We had some pretty early on. Like it was just like panicky, man. It's very like I always felt real tight and stuff. But this has been awesome. It was a lot of fun, and that's the best part about podcasts. I've been on a lot of podcasts that are real boring, but we've had a good time, and you can tell that through. I'm sure the people listening, we've had a good time, and we're having a giggle, and I'm sure we chatted about some fun stuff too. So I've enjoyed myself, and hopefully you guys see me in Tokyo for sure.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely be rooting for you, man.
Hopefully you get the medal and we can bring you back.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's cool, man. We'll definitely have to bring you on, later on to the future.
Definitely.
But, no, man, appreciate it. So, Sit and Kick podcast.
Yes.
That's where. How often do you guys post?
It's normally once a week.
Okay.
Depending on how lazy we are.
Okay, awesome, man.
We do enjoy it though.
Track running, that's your.
Yeah, the main thing that we go for is we're asking professional track athletes the questions that professional track athletes want to hear from non-mainstream media, because we have a lot of mainstream media, and it's always the same questions, like how did that race feel? You know what I mean? Like straight after the race, you get the camera in your face and they're like, how did your race feel? And we're like, good. And they'd be like, okay,
puffing and puffing, good.
Yeah, it's like, what? They're like, how? Like, it's the dumbest questions, and we hate it. So we're like, we can maybe ask the questions or have a bit more insight for the track fans and the nerds of the sport. So that's what we enjoy doing, and we try and rip them and roast them as much as possible as well. So it's a bit of fun, yeah.
Nice, awesome. We'll throw a link to Sit and Kick podcast wherever this podcast will eventually be posted. We're going to be posting on YouTube and on Instagram, Twitter, everything for people to go ahead and check that out. Josh is a co-host of that, right?
Yes.
And, Instagram, let's give you a shout out. Josh, you have 2 H's in there, right?
Yeah.
Kerr,
Yeah.
So we'll throw a link on there so people can give you a follow, man. And then Brooks Running also. That's who you're signed to, right?
Yeah, man. Best running shoes in the game.
There we go. So awesome. Anything else you want to shout out, man?
Yeah, no, I think, I'm excited to see where this podcast grows, and I'm going to be an avid listener now, man. So I'm excited.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
Man.
Appreciate your support, man. We won't take up any more of your time, man. Thank you, Josh, for being our first guest ever, man. We really appreciate it. You have a good night and best of luck in your future competitions. We'll be rooting for you, man.
Yeah, man. Good luck. Good luck for sure.
Hopefully, thank you, guys.
Put that flag.
Exactly. There we go.
Love it.
And a medal, man. If you want to throw in a record in there too for the books, we won't
Just
get mad, bro.
At it.
Exactly. Throw it in there. We'll be rooting for you, man. Appreciate your time, Josh.
Cheers, boys.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good one.
Thanks, boys.
That's all for today, folks. First ever episode in the wraps. We're filming on February 15th. We're hopefully going to get this episode up on all platforms up soon. We appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the type of content we hope to bring on, different, we brought on a professional athlete today. Next time it might be, a business owner, just, lots of different
something
range.
Different,
Yeah, something
might
different.
Be one of our friends, you never know.
Exactly. We hope that you guys enjoyed. We appreciate you tuning in if you're listening to this at this point into our podcast episode. But, we appreciate it and hope that you guys will continue to be avid listeners. Thank you.
Yeah, and a big thank you to Josh Kerr for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully this will give us the big jump, that we need to get into this, get more followers, more listeners, and build up from here.
Exactly. It's only up from here. So appreciate it, guys. Till next time.
Stay safe and wash your hands, guys.
Yep.